Shwmai Bob, hello everyone, Jason Shepherd here from the Learn Welsh podcast, and today we have another amazing list from Wales Online, who like to repeat themselves, so there are a few things in this list that we've talked about before, but the list is called 37 Welsh Stereotypes that are actually true, and I've got to say some of them are. Let's have a look at the list. It's a very interesting list. Number 1, hearing another Welsh accent. Oh, my iPad's here, that's why I'm looking down. It's got all the list on it. Hearing another Welsh accent when we're on holidays really excites us. Yes, it does. And I may have told this story before. I was in Malta on holiday with my mum, my dad, and my mamgi, my grandmother. And we were on a day trip to Gozo. And we heard a Welsh accent, and when we looked ahead of us, there were about 30 or 40 people. And it turns out they were John's ambulance people. And my dad, without even thinking, just went, "Uggy, uggy, uggy." And 40 people turned around and went, "Oi, oi, oi." Just without a thought, they just did it. And that's because we just love a Welsh accent. There's just something about being Welsh and hearing that accent in a place you're not familiar with. It just makes you feel warm and comforted. Right, number 2. And chances are we'll know someone in common because everyone in Wales knows each other. Do you know the amount of times I've spoken to somebody and they know somebody I'm friends with or I went to school with, and these people live a long, long way from Swansea. So yeah, it does happen, and it happens a lot. Number 3. All bus and taxi drivers in Wales have forsaken their names and are simply known as Drive. I've never called a taxi driver Drive. I thought it was just for bus drivers. But anyway, this is something that I would say 60-70% of the people do day to day. Not everybody uses it, but a lot of people do. And it has become a bit of a stereotype. I use it. But it depends. Sometimes I say thanks drive, sometimes I say cheers drive. And you really have to think about whether it's a thanks drive moment or a cheers drive moment. And I'm only half joking about that. Okay. Number 4. Rugby really is a religion that we get over-invested and over-emotional about. Rugby fans, they get very, very invested in the game. My wife loves rugby, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not a big fan myself, as I've said in the past, but I do watch the Wales matches, the big matches. But apparently there was a survey done, and the biggest sport in this country is actually football. But you wouldn't know that from the amount of rugby supporters you see out cheering and in pubs on match day. Number 5, and we find it hard to love our rivals. Well, there's 2 reasons. One is the rugby reason, and we're talking about England here. But a lot of people, especially our Welsh speakers up north, haven't forgiven the English government for what they've done to, there's a few things. The way they tried to decimate the language for so many years. And also the way they turned villages, beautiful villages that had the Welsh language there, and just turned them into reservoirs. Just chucked the people out, made them into a reservoir. That's happened a few times, and people are very, very unhappy about these things. In history, people find it hard to forget. Number 6, everyone knows someone called Di. Well, here's the thing. Di, short for David. I know a lot of people called David. Some are actually called Di. Some are known as Dave. And one is actually known as the Welsh name, Dafydd, the Welsh word for David. Or one of the Welsh words, there's a few. Dewi is another one. Number 7. And their surnames are likely to be either Jones, Thomas or Williams. All surnames you'll see a lot in Wales. Davis is another one. Number 8. There is only one road, motorway, in and out of the country. Well, that's not true. There's something called the M4 corridor. The M4 is the big motorway in Wales. It goes from Swansea, Port Talbot, Bridgend, Cardiff, Newport and then out into England. If you live on that corridor, it's very easy to get in and out of places. If you don't, and you have to rely on the older roads, it's a lot harder. Number 9, and our hearts feel like they're going to explode when we see the Welcome to Wales sign. I can promise you that when we went on holiday and we were coming back and we saw that sign, our family got very excited, and I know a lot of other people have said the same thing. It's something about coming back to your own country that makes it very exciting. It makes you forget about the fact that you're having to come home from holiday, back to work. Our transport systems are a bit last century. Yes, for example, our buses, when they finish with them in England and they're basically knackered and they want to get rid of them, they give them to us. Trains the same, it seems. Number 11. Some of our names can be a little difficult to pronounce, and the example they give here is a tweet from Welsh Problems. Follow Welsh Problems, they're very funny. Here's the tweet. It's done as a conversation. One person is obviously English. What's your name? Angharad. It's nice to meet you, Anne Howard. We do. There are a lot of Welsh names that are really hard to say if you're not from Wales, especially with double L's at the beginning, like Chlinos. So I think the double D at the end, Dafydd. There's a lot of names that people find hard. Rhiannon with the RH, that R sound. When you hear them pronounced without the Welsh sound, it's not as good. Number 12, and we love being asked this one and never get tired of it. And what they're talking about it is the long place name. Llanfair Pwllgwyngyll go Gerrych rwy'n drobach Chantysilio go go goch. I love to say it, it's my party piece, but a lot of people do get fed up of being asked that question over and over. Do you know that place name? Can you tell me it? Go on, go on. But some of us love to say it. And it's good practice if you're learning Welsh to get those Llanfair Pwllgwyngyll, get those sounds right. Number 13, Tenby is Wales' answer to Tenerife, and everyone has had a summer holiday there. Well, Tenby certainly doesn't have the weather of Tenerife, but it's a beautiful place. I've spent a lot of time there, not just in the summer, but at many different times of year. And it's always beautiful, even in the freezing cold, when it's pouring down. It's just so nice being there. It's a little town that's inside a fortified wall. And it's a beautiful island where the monks are, called the island. It's just a lovely place to go to and visit. And you really should, if you come to Wales, visit Tenby. 14. We thought it always rained in Wales, though. Well, it rains a lot in Wales, but not all the time. We are very protective over our culture, number 15, and language, and we'll be ready to battle anyone who mocks either. Now, that is true. People say we don't have a sense of humour about ourselves. If Welsh people are making fun of each other, we have a wonderful sense of humour. But if an English person mocks our language, we're not happy about it. Why? The English government nearly killed the Welsh language. We just about managed to get it back together, and now it's slowly going up again. But it was nearly destroyed. That's why we don't have that sense of humour. Now, I'm being serious, back to my happy face. Alan Wyn Jones is considered a god, and everyone has to bow when they see him. I'm not a rugby fan. I love Alan Wyn Jones. He is such a role model. What a wonderful guy. Number 17, our mamgis and nanas, nines, so grandmothers in other words, feed us unlimited cawl and Welsh cakes. Yes, they do. Not just that, they'll feed you anything that they've got. My grandmother would feed me cakes, sandwiches, anything she had her hands on. And if you said, I'm not hungry, mamgi, she'd be like, oh, no, you've got to eat something. You're going to waste away. This is in my thin days, but I was eating a lot as a child. A lot. And I never put the weight on. And maybe if I put the weight on, she wouldn't have fed me so much, but she just kept feeding me and feeding me. A traditional Indian is served half and half. Well, that's the idea of giving half rice and half chips with your curry, which I think is a Welsh thing. Not as popular as it used to be because more people want to have that authentic experience and eat authentic meals. So have an authentic Indian food experience or Thai. I love Thai food. I actually had my first Thai food in in Los Angeles. Some friends said, let's go to this restaurant. And all the waiters were all dressed up like they were heavy metal singers. And there was graffiti all over the walls. It did not look like your typical Thai place, but the food was wonderful. And I've been hooked ever since. Number 19, drinking is a national sport. Now this does not apply just to Wales, but all over the UK. Although I think if we took our Scottish and Northern Ireland brothers, we could drink every other nation under the table between the three of us. Number 21, chances are your mum or dad knew Bonnie Tyler or Catherine Zeta-Jones or Anthony Hopkins. Now my dad said he went on a couple of dates with Bonnie Tyler back in the 60s, and he said that when Catherine Zeta-Jones was a young lass, a young child, she, up on the hill where he lived, she kicked him in his shin. So we've got that covered. Number 22, Tom Jones is like a distant relative who must be protected at all costs. It doesn't matter your age, what music you're into, even if you're a big hip-hop fan or a thrash metal fan, as soon as you say Tom Jones in Wales, that person will say, I love Tom Jones. Number 3, Gavin Stacy makes us feel like home. Yeah, it really captures that Welsh spirit, Gavin Stacy. And all the Welsh actors, all the Welsh characters are actually played by Welsh people, which doesn't always happen in TV. You get Irish people playing Welsh people in some films. In the past, I've seen a lot of English people try to do a Welsh accent and fail. One or two have done okay. But Gavin and Stacey, perfect. And number 24, we all know someone like Uncle Bryn from Gavin Stacy. Yeah, I've met many, many people like Uncle Bryn. All of them peculiar, all of them funny in their own way, in both ways of the word, but great guys to have a chat with and to meet, but not quite as funny as the Uncle Bryn himself. On Gavin and Stacey, he is hilarious. What a character. Number 25, anytime we venture over the bridge, we must carry a flag or towel to let people know that we are Welsh. Yeah, a little bit of sarcasm there, a little bit of humour. But of course, a lot of people carry these things and use these beach towels on the beach, for example, or wear a T-shirt with the Welsh flag on because they're proud of being Welsh. That's all it is. We are all proud of our country. 26. Or if we don't have our flag, then we must find any excuse to tell people that we are Welsh. As soon as they hear our accents, we don't need to tell them. I think they'll work that out for themselves. Number 27. And explain to people that there is a clear difference between England and Wales. That's something you normally have to do somewhere like America, where if you say you're from Wales, they tend to say, oh, England. I've had that a few times. But not as much. It's not as bad as it used to be. And it depends what part of America you're in as well, of course. But yeah, when I said to people, when they said to me, where are you from? I say, oh, Wales. They go, oh, in England. No, not in England. But yeah, that's just one of those things. Now, there's a tweet here from somebody called Sophie. And she says, wearing this to the strip. From now on, after the amount of people who thought I was English last night. And everything she's wearing is completely and utterly covered in the Welsh flag. Good on you, girl. I like it. Well done, Diane. 28. The traditional sign is found in many Welsh homes. And it says anyone can cuddle, but only the Welsh can cwtch. And the other one is Cymru am byth. Wales forever. Now, both of those signs are very popular You can buy many versions of them, prints. You can buy them on keychains, wallets, all kinds of variations. And lots of people have them because they're fun. And nobody can cuddle like the Welsh, although we could. Number 29. Everyone's Instagram includes at least one picture posing with a sign from Penarth. It does seem very popular, but I've got to tell you something. Don't be upset with me, please. But I've never been to Penarth. I know, I'm off there now. I'm going to rectify it. I know, I'm on my way. But yeah, having your photo with the little sign at the top of Penarth is very popular. Number 30, we have the best sense of humour. That is true. There's so many amazing comedians that come from Wales, for example. But just a show like Gavin Stacy shows the kind of wonderful humour we have. High Hopes, if you've ever seen that show. Amazing show. Next is 31. Our relationship with grammar is complicated. And there's a tweet here from somebody called Chris Jones. And he says, why do the Welsh see the need to add an S to the end of supermarkets? Tesco's, Asda's, Iceland. Stop. It's Tesco, Asda, Iceland. Yeah, we do that. We do that a lot. Especially Tesco. I would say I'm going to Tesco now. But so I'd say the same as you. But I would say I've been to Tesco's. So I'm going to Tesco, but I've been to Tesco's. I'm going to Asda, but I've been to Asda's. Isn't that weird? I don't know why that is. Because our grammar is superior. You should meet her. She's lovely. She's 94. Number 32. We also ask a question and then ask it again, don't we? Something like, how are you? All right? Yeah, you all right? Yeah. How John? I haven't seen him in ages. Is he okay? Yeah, okay. Yeah. John okay? Yeah. We do that a lot. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's very good to do that. Number 33, we obviously only speak in Welsh when an English speaker walks into the room. Of course, I'm speaking English all day long. I'm speaking other languages because we all like to speak other languages. We're there speaking German and Dutch and French. And then in comes an English man who only speaks English, and yeah, we all speak Welsh. Either that or I'm being sarcastic. It's such a cliche. I don't know why people think that we would have that much interest in who's coming into the bar. We're just having our conversations in Welsh. That's it. I wish I lived in a part of Wales where everybody spoke Welsh and I could have more conversations in Welsh. 34. Now in a minute makes perfect sense to us. Yes, it does. I'll see you now, but in a minute. Makes perfect sense. Number 35. Like John the Gasman or Dave the Milk, people are named after their jobs. Now, Hayley Morgan on Twitter says, love the Welsh sense of humour and the tradition of nicknames. We all know people like Di the Milk, Keith the Meat, Peter TikTok, Dry Brush the Painter. I've just heard Dale Transparent, and it's the best thing I've heard in ages. He's a window cleaner. Yeah, we like to do that. Put the person's name with the job. Number 36. Year, and year should all sound the same. I'll write them down so you can see them. Callum Shepherd says that year, here, and here all sound the same when you speak. Yes, I tried to pronounce them properly then. Is it year, here, and here? I don't know. We just say year, and year. It's much simpler. Number 37. But mostly, we are a patriotic bunch who truly believes that there's nowhere quite as special as home. And a lot of Welsh people feel that way. And the reason we have so many people living in Wales that aren't from here originally, because a lot of them fell for the charm of this country and for the wonderful people that live here. And I believe that. I know there's idiots in all kinds of countries, but there's so many wonderful people here in Wales. Anyway, If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of our videos, why not click subscribe? And if you'd like to see every video as it comes out, click the little bell so you'll be notified. Thank you so much. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi. Thank you so much for all your wonderful comments, all your questions, all the thumbs ups on the videos. It's amazing. Thank you so much. If you would like to be part of the experience and you would like to donate in some way, you can go to learnwelshpodcast.co.uk, join the Learn Welsh Podcast Club. You can go to patreon.com/learnwelsh, and whatever you give, you will get loads and loads of learning Welsh materials back. You get all the videos early, you get audio versions of the videos, lots of extra things as a thank you for your support and for helping us to create what I hope will be a full Welsh beginners course eventually for the North and the South. That's my dream, as well as all the other fun videos that we do as well. But that's my dream, to create a full course that's easily accessible for anybody to learn Welsh. Well, it is time for me to go, so I shall see you soon, and I shall say, Hwyl!